This is Curtis here at Ace Per Head Studios. Come back at you with some more NFL 2021 coverage. Going to stick to my Dolphins. Got a shorter topic, very concise, at least I hope so, but very, very, very important. Anytime an NFL team starts hitting the skids, or even close to hitting the skids, stories and narratives start springing from the franchise like rats from a ship. It's the way it is in the third phase of an NFL team. Now, current narrative question is Brian Flores a coach cutter, too quick to pull the string on his coaches and part of the inconsistency that's leading to the Dolphins underperforming in the 2021 season? Very fair question. Very good question. Very good question. And one that I thought I had the answer on. But I realized that I did the most critical thing is I spoke about something I really didn't thoroughly investigate. Went through his hires and fires, and I started getting a little surprised. So I'm going to go through his firings, why we are where we are right now, and adding context to see, is Brian Flores at fault and a poor head coach because of it? So we have to remember context is critical. Brian Flores came here. He wasn't a head coach. He was a coordinator for one season. We understood this. We brought him in because of his reputation, because of his potential, and really, Miami Dolphins couldn't get anybody else. You look at all the other prospects out there. Where are they? They're not head coaches to a franchise right now. As I said, we had to go to the B and C squad because Ross had come in, stabbed Sperano on the back on his TMZ moment to go get Harbaugh, and there was just constant turmoil, and nobody wanted to come here. Nobody. So we had to grab somebody who needed a little cooking, a little time in the oven in order to get right. But once that time had been put in, he would be right. So we got Brian Flores. We hired him. And the reality is, in the NFL, if you attach yourself to a coach, that coach fails, you fail, it's harder to find a job. So he had a bunch of guppies. He had a bunch of low-end, coordinators that show potential, and he had to cobble together this staff. He got lucky. Jim Caldwell came on board as like an advisor, assistant head coach, all this other stuff. Big win. Big. Unfortunately, sickness took him out of the picture. He brought in Pat Flaherty, who had been a head coach with Coughlin for all those years, stuff like 2015. Very experienced, up and down results, but very experienced. These were the two pieces. First moment of coach cutting came when Flaherty was, within 1 week of training camp, was released. Whoa! What's going on? We don't know the exact nature of it, but it surrounded his inability to put in the young rookies. Now, Flores moved on. They said it was better to move on early. It was very supported. He was the new coach. He had the glow. Anything he could do, everything he did was perfect. So he brought in Dave Del Guamo. I'm mashing it. I mash names. That's what I do. I don't mean to. I go back and figure it out. Sorry, that's what I do. Anyway, they bring in Dave, the Italian guy. He had been a coach for the Dolphins, offensive line, 2017. And he was like, bring him in. We had to get him in here to get something going. Okay? But we had this Pat Flaherty moment. Well, think about it. You have a young coach trying to make his way, and you have an established veteran coach who's told to put in the rookies. This coach is at the end of his game. He's getting old. He's had a hard time finding jobs since the Giants. Does he want to attach himself with a bunch of rookies and possibly not look good with his young coach, questionable franchise? Seems like there was a buck in authority. Flores did what he had to do. Flaherty should just have obeyed, but he refused. Understand his standpoint, understand Flores' standpoint. Okay. The Gama comes in, or Dave comes in, one season. Then at the end of that season, he's removed. Man, this guy Flores is cutting people like you won't believe. But again, why? Why? Okay, Chad O'Shea was brought in, did a very good job, and he was released, along with Patrick Graham. Why? Well, Chad O'Shea did a very good job, in my opinion. I liked him. But are you telling me that Chad O'Shea or getting the opportunity to work with Shane Gailey when you have Ryan Fitzpatrick on your team, there's no way that you would not go for Shane Gailey, like 3-time, 4-time head coach, all sorts of experience. Brian Flores' main weakness was experience. The opportunity to work with Caldwell, which he didn't get, the opportunity to work with Gailey is critical. Critical. Do you know how much information, training, support, how important Gailey is in just beyond offense? Flores had a chance with both Caldwell and Gailey to really fast track his weakness. So he brings in Shane Gailey, and he has to let O'Shea go. But Steve Marshall was brought in as offensive line. So they let Dave go, and they bring Steve Marshall. This was his third move. Steve Marshall has worked for 40 years, had worked with Gailey on a number of occasions. I'm sure one of Gailey's stipulations was, the most important thing is my offensive line coach. I need to bring him in. Oh, yeah, okay. Shane, you want to come on? Okay. It's not like Dave was like a super hot item. Again, Dave was a quality coach. Steve was like a pillar, along with Gailey. The opportunities for these two guys to come to your team, to coach your kids, to be involved with them is just, you had to make the move. So now he's on his third offensive line coach. I don't really see a problem here, considering that this guy had to come in, ad hoc, throw his team together, his staff together, and Brian Fitzpatrick is brought in. You got Fitzpatrick. You're heading into the draft. You get a chance to get Gailey. Gailey comes in. Gailey's going to want an offensive line coach that he respects, that he knows he feels comfortable with, so you got to bring Steve in. Okay, Patrick Graham, why is he gone? Does anybody remember Patrick Graham in 2019? He's a solid coach, but he's more of a vanilla style. Flores wanted to go into this exotic look stuff. And so Patrick Graham did not fit. He fit the first year because I have to find a staff. What am I going to do? Coach it myself? No. He needed a staff. So he has a right to really kind of set his pieces in play. So Josh Boyer, who I was a little concerned with, came in a little rocky start, but he has shown to be exceptional. Exceptional. He's able to manipulate. He's of the similar mind of Flores. They work well together, so there's nothing wrong with that. So now you get Shane Gailey. Shane Gailey did not come in for one season. Shane Gailey came to be a part of the Miami Dolphins. He signed like a 3-year contract, a 2-year, I can't remember. So Steve Marshall was going to be here with them. It was a team. They're coming, they're going to help Fitzpatrick, they're going to help this young hot coach, blah, 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 blah. So we get to being inserted. I got a whole videos you can check in Ross Effect without Gailey's approval, and really without Brian Flores's. Brian Flores said, if he was my son, I wouldn't put him in. He's not ready. A week later, he's in. Shane Gailey says, this year, I was taken back. I didn't know. Somebody inserted Tua when he didn't know the playbook, and I've done hours of tape, wasn't clearly fully recovered, mentally, physically, the whole thing. It's a big deal. So Gailey is totally screwed. He didn't retire. He quit because he was overridden. I did another video that's coming out, or came out, I don't know how it's going to go, to show that Ross wasn't the prime mover of that decision. It wouldn't be obviously Gailey because he didn't know. It wouldn't be Flores because he came out and said it, and it was clear that Tua didn't know the playbook and wasn't ready, and Flores never said anything, so he wouldn't say that. It had to be Chris Grier forcing the insertion. Once he did that, not only did he step on Gailey, he stepped all over Flores because Flores had to lie to his team, and he had to lie to the media saying that Tua was the best option. You don't see practice. This is nothing, I already said this in many videos, but a lot of people may not catch them, big Tua fans. Drew Brees must suck if Tua sucks, because Brees took 4 years to actually show something. Go look at his stats. And he was in the framework of the Chargers, and he wasn't injured. So Tua is the type of quarterback, it appears, that needs at least some time. What his height is going to be? Was it better to get Herbert than Tua? Then we're going to let it play out. We don't know. Bottom line is, Tua wasn't taken care of. But if he had Shane Gailey and he had Steve Marshall and he sat in 2020 and he was prepared to ready to go this year or the next, it would have been best for him. But that wasn't the case. So Chris Grier forced in Tua, undercut Gailey in so many ways. Gailey, furious, quit. And Steve Marshall went with him. They're good friends. They've been together forever. Do you think that your friends, who you work with so many times, get screwed like that and you're going to stick? And on top of that, people are down on Jean Pierre, and I got a little down on him too. There were multiple teams interested in Jean Pierre. What is Brian Flores to do? He didn't say, goodbye, Gailey. No, Gailey quit, and Marshall went with him. So how is Brian Flores, when you go back over it, what alternatives did he have? When your GM forces a quarterback in without consulting a legendary offensive coordinator that you've somehow managed to bring to the franchise nobody wants to be there, who you need desperately because you're a raw coach, what are you to do? Do you think that where was all the search for offensive coaches? You think that Brian Flores wants to have 3 coaches on offense? Because it's 3 now, really. Charlie Fry sends in the plays. Studdersville deals with the run. He's on the ground. And Gottsi's up in the thing, calling the plays, quote unquote. Do you think this is what Flores wanted? Or do you think that when Shane Gailey, practically a legendary coach, gets screwed hard, it's not known to everybody in the know and nobody else is coming? What is Brian Flores to do? What is he to do? He took the 2019 team, and it was the 6th most disciplined team in the league, ended up beating the Patriots. Okay, he gets rid of O'Shea. That's bad. Not for Shane Gailey and Steve Marshall when you got Fitzpatrick. And then he's doing pretty good, and mid-season, he has all his power cut out under him. What is he to do? Who is he going to find? Who wants to come here? There's no way that you can peg this all on Flores. Flaherty, you can say whatever. Flaherty should have obeyed and said, I'm going to play the rookies. Refused. Left. I understand his standpoint. Dave was just a stopgap. Who are you going to choose? Dave or Steve Marshall and Gailey? Then you get the quarterback forced in, and both Marshall and Gailey say, I'm out. You're left with Bupkis. With everybody knowing that GM totally forced the situation, still worried about Ross in his past history, what are you to do? This is my take. Not saying it's right. It seems pretty clear to me. This is Curtis. Thank you for staying to the end. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Your comments, if I'm wrong here, help me think clearly. This is an evaluation. I'm trying to evaluate. But this did not seem a clear picture until I spent my time to find the context. I want to hear what you think. I really do. It matters to me. And the subscribes and the likes, they help us with the Google overlords, keeps us in business. I like to stay in business. I'm really starting to enjoy this. I used to do some writing for the Dolphins over here, reporting on them. I didn't want to leave. Now that I'm here, I really enjoy it. So please, the subscribes and likes matters. And our sponsors, aceperhead.com. They want to let you know they're world-class software. You can get in on all the action, friends, family, coworkers, and become a local bookie. They're phenomenal sponsors, really the best. And you guys, with your comments, smart comments, funny comments, positive comments, are the best as well. So thank you. This is Curtis. I hope you enjoyed. Catch you next time. Be well.